Well, all right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube, Pastor Dowell here. I know many of you may have drawn some type of conclusions, sentiments, judgments, perceptions of what you believe about Straitway based on other people's opinion. But however, there's an old statement that says, man, if you're going to accuse somebody of something, then how about let's hear from the accuser himself, the one that's being accused. Let's hear from him himself. And I understand that even in this video right here, and make no mistake about it. My attempt here is not to reach or gain anyone. It's just simply to tell the truth. Because, over here Straitway, I'm starting to feel like the Donald Trump of the religious conservative right movement. Now, I use that statement right there because I'm trying to show you something. You see, we at Straitway, we are very serious. Out there in the political realm, you have liberals, you have conservatives, you have the left, you have the right. And if we was to bring that over to where we're at today, Straitway would be on the side, of the religious right. And we will be considered conservatives as opposed to those who are on the religious left and they're liberal. And let me draw this out for you, okay? So, I feel like I got to sneeze here too. Being conservative in religion means that we stand on the truth of the word. Now, there will be a lot of people that will say that they do the same thing. To me, the book is clear when it says they have a form of godliness, but they deny the power thereof, and the instruction is such turn away. I'll give you an example. So let me give you something right here, all right? Jesus said that he knew Judas from the very beginning. And if we follow some of the thoughts of you out there, if Jesus knew Judas from the very beginning, then why did Jesus permit Judas to be in his ministry for over 3.5 years? And then within the last few weeks, he decided to betray him. He even gave Judas the money bag, and he knew him from the very beginning. Not only that, the word even said it'd been better if Judas was never even born. Yet and still, Jesus loved him all the way up to that point, loved him. And Judas betrayed him. Innocent blood. Which side are you on? Are you on the side that Jesus should have known? Jesus should have set him down? Jesus should have went and pronounced judgment upon him so that he wouldn't have betrayed him? Or did Jesus do the right thing by letting things play out? You got to ask yourself those questions. Let's do this thing versus religious conservative right and religious conservative left. Straitway, we believe in keeping the 10 commandments. So you go over to Exodus chapter 20, you read verses 1 through 11. Oh, no, matter of fact, you can go down further than that. I can sit here and quote them, but I can tell you how many verses that is actually. So let's go all the way down to 17. So Exodus chapter 21 through 17, there are the 10 commandments. Now, the religious right says that all of these are right and they're binding on us today. The religious left says, well, we're not under that law. We're not subject to that law, and that law is done away with. But then, when you challenge them on certain things, is it okay for your wife to commit adultery? Well, no. Then where do you draw that conclusion from? Because the right of the commandment says you should not commit adultery. You say that it's done away with, but then when somebody commits adultery, now all of a sudden you want the law, the judgment of law. Because, you have to define what sin is. 1 John 3:4 says sin is the transgression of the law. And you can't go in the New Testament and find out what that law is. You got to go back to the Torah or the law to find out what sin is, since the Torah defined what sin is. So the religious right says keeping in conservative values with Yah, or who you call God. The fourth commandment, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shall you labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahweh your Elohim. In it you should not do any work. Then he goes on to define who shouldn't do it. And so the book says the seventh day is the Sabbath, but the religious left says Sunday is the Sabbath, while calling it the Sabbath, which is the first day. Who's right? The one who wrote the commandments, would he not be right? And if he tells you 7 day, and yet still you have 99% of the people in the world go to the left and say Sunday and call it the Sabbath, who is right? Only you can judge that. You can go over here and you can look at all these holidays. You have a religious right and a religious left. The religious right says we should keep, according to the Old Testament, the writings, the Apocrypha, the Messianic writings of Jesus through the apostles, and the writings of the Acts of the Apostles, and the different letters of Paul. They all confirm, because these are Hebraic people, real Hebrews, real Yehudims. None of them ever spoke about keeping a Christmas or Easter or Sunday. Now the religious left does. But all throughout, from Genesis to Revelation, it only speaks about a Passover. A Passover. It speaks about keeping the feast days. You know, unleavened bread, Passover, Feast of First Fruits, Pentecost, trumpets, Day of Atonement, and the Feast of Tabernacles. I mean, man, that is a lot going on there. And that's all the instructions of the Bible. If you ever read your Bible, if you ever pick it up, that's all you're going to see. You know, I can take this Holy Bible right here. You're not going to read any instructions in here on how to keep Christmas, Easter, Sunday, Halloween. So now we got a problem. We got people that are being persecuted and ostracized, can't even get jobs out here based on their conviction to keep the commandments. But then the rest of the world, including heathen and religious people alike, they say this is the new way. And so who's right? Because Jesus said in John 14:15, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments. I mean, we have some serious thoughts. And then you got people out there that they will say, Pastor Dowell's a cult leader. Well, that's your opinion. You're entitled to it. But you're definitely not entitled to your own facts. You have the right to call me anything in this world that you want. I can pick and choose to either let it affect me or not. I just choose to let it not affect me because I know in whom I believe in. And I have a lot of peace because I know that I'm doing right because I am doing what this says. So there are people out there that says that they know that they're doing right because they're doing what it says. But when you scrutinize their walk, when you really truly dissect their words, because a lot of people are deceiving you with good words and fair speeches. Let's go back to political here for a second. I've been asking all these Biden supporters, because for some reason they love having conversations with me. And I just ask them a simple thing. I said, y'all remember the 4 years that Donald Trump was in office, right? And y'all realize these last 3.5 years that Biden has been in office. Is that correct? I said, which president were we better under? I mean, we were energy independent under Donald Trump. Now we're dependent, and Saudi Arabia is not renewing its petrodollar contract, and they done went off to the BRICS nation. And our gas prices is still astronomical. We were paying like $1.87 a gallon for gas under Donald Trump. I mean, we're paying like $3.80, $3.25 per gallon. We're talking about regular unleaded under Biden. The border was secure, and the border walls was going up under Trump. But guess what? Biden did tear it all down. Then all of a sudden he gives an executive order because it's an election year. And he says we secure the border. All this time he couldn't do nothing about it. So we got 11 million illegals, or what they call them things, immigrants. They keep changing the definition of them. Because to call them illegal that means you got to call the white Americans that are here in America, you have to call all of them illegals, and these are descendants, all the white people that has joined the benefits of America. Now you have to literally call them the descendants of illegals, which will make them illegal. But when you call people migrants, that means people will move from one place to another. You're not calling them illegals no more. I mean, see, I'm dealing with facts here, truthful facts. And so people, they pick and choose which side they want to be on. And when they're on the left, they're trying to act like that they are in the truth and love the truth and are for the truth. But upon careful scrutiny, you'll see that all they have is words. And the truth is whatever they define it as. They don't care nothing about the truth. I mean, for instance, Donald Trump, they still trying to pin on him the January 6th hoax. And they still have yet to pin anything on it. It's a bunch of accusations from the left. But there's nothing that is pointing towards it. Now we got the DOJ that is weaponized against his former president right here. They're raiding his house in Mar-a-Lago. They got him tied up in the so-called justice system in liberal New York. And they're doing everything they can to make sure that this man does not run for president. They're trying to do they're pulling out all stops. And they don't care what it's like. They don't care if it's truth. They don't care what it looks like by any means necessary. And you know what? And they don't seem to have any conviction that they're wrong in their allegations, their assertions, and their accusations towards this man. Some of them can't even tell the truth when the truth is staring you right in the eyes. Do we really want another 4 years under Biden administration or the Democrats? I mean, ask yourself, you have no money. Your savings is eroded. You're not making any money in stocks. You're not making any money in any investment whatsoever at all. Everybody's going bankrupt. The people that went out and bought car and truck loans and stuff, they're all being repoed and returned. I mean, people are now having to choose whether to pay the car note, the credit cards, or to pay the mortgage and the rent and for transportation. And you know what's going to come first. They're going to get food first. And so now all of a sudden, if you have so much hatred in your heart for Trump, no matter what good that he's done, you can't see it because your hate for him defines your course. It makes no difference how right he is. Joe Biden, this man is a zombie. He's incoherent. He don't know where he's coming or going. He's the laughing stock of the free world. Why you think Putin and all them are raising hell, and Kim Jong-un and all them are raising hell in this world? Because America is impotent concerning leadership. We're in a mess. And if you ever want to see a pathological liar, go listen to the press secretary for the Democrats. So when you start weighing in the balances what's truth and what not. I mean, for instance, when I'm on the internet right here and the news is reporting something, there's this passivity that is in us to believe what we're hearing because the news media is reporting it. But is it the truth? I've seen the news media more often than not, many times more often than not, get the stories flat out wrong. They're just out there throwing out accusations, throwing out slanders and everything. But you know what? When they get egg on their face and when the people are vindicated, you know that you never, ever hear the news media come back and apologize for all the lies, the misrepresentations, the slanders, the way they spun the story. They never do it. You know what they do? They just move on to the next story. It's shock jock. That's all it is. They're not concerned with truth. They're not concerned with anything whatsoever at all that will be any resemblance of righteousness. Zero. And they know that many people out there, you've been conditioned so long by listening to the news media that if somebody slanders, somebody accuses, somebody puts forth the finger, which y'all hate, somebody bring accusations, false accusations, that you've been conditioned to believe what they say and side with them without even doing due diligence. That's just the way that it is. So if you're on the conservative right and you know that, you can have a hell of a lot more peace of mind because you know it's not true. And so a lot of times when the storm is here, You have to just wait it out. Be still and know that he's Yah. You have to just wait it out, wait for it to die down, wait for it down there, and then you rise up and bring out that truth. You have to pick and choose when you're going to have these battles and wars. Because 99% of the world believes left. They believe left. They flat out, they don't care about what truth is. They don't care. All they care about is the destruction of who they hate. I had somebody, man, literally say that they want to see me go to hell. Man, is that the love of the Messiah? Hey, that's personal opinion. That's on them. But I tell you what, by your own words are you justified, and your own words you're condemned. So be it. You know what I mean? After I try to reach people, say a few things, when I say I'm done, when I finally say I'm done, I wipe it off and I continue on. I just keep going on. But we have got to really, truly do some self-evaluation. Let's end this video like this. The Sabbath. Is it really first day Sunday, or is it the seventh day? Starting from Friday night and nightfall and ends at Saturday night and nightfall. What saith you? I know what the scripture says, but what do you say? What do you believe? You believe in what you do. What do you actually do? Is there such thing as Santa Claus? He's either the truth or a lie. Truth is on the right. A lie is on the left. So which one are you? What do you do? I mean, what do you literally do? What do you do what you believe, not what you say. You do what you believe. Easter. Is it the way that they tell this story? Is it a truth or a lie? Is there does a rabbit laying eggs or Easter eggs have anything to do with Passover? Passover's on the right, the live Easter's on the left. Which one is it? And isn't it sad that today the news media is controlling the debates, and they setting the rules for the debates because they're controlled by corporations? That even Robert Kennedy, you know, it's showing us that, like Jesse Ventura said some time ago, we are under a two-party dictatorship. And a lot of times it's like WWE. They get out in front of you and act like they're the worst enemies, and then after the match they go to the bar and have a beer. And get paid for entertaining you. Is that the way politics is going now? I mean, why can't Robert Kennedy be in the debates and have access, ballot access? Man, and then some of the rules that they have for this next debate, I don't even know if I'm wasting my time even look at it, because it's not even a debate. It's like they're trying to make sure that Joe Biden can stand up for 90 minutes and just make it through it. Y'all see what I mean? Do y'all see what I'm talking about? So there are a lot of people that slander Pastor Dowell, that accuse Pastor Dowell, and out of all my accusers, I'm never able to face them face to face, and they lie, and people get out here and they run at it because they're all confederate in their hatred towards me. Not that I have done anything against any of them. It's just that they're confederate in their hatred towards me, and whatever it takes, whatever lie I have to tell, whatever accusation I have to promote, whatever finger I have to point, you know, that's an abomination that y'all said he hates. Is putting forth the finger. They don't care. It's just that their hatred for me means more than the righteousness or the truth I'm representing. So no, I don't answer every fool. I don't answer every question. I truly, truly don't. Because no matter what goes on in life, you're going to have to make your own and chart your own choice and decisions. Because I can tell you right now, that if you follow me as I follow the Messiah, if you even embrace 1/10 of the truth that I'm living, believe the words of Jesus that they're true, you're getting ready to lose your household. As a matter of fact, let's just see what Jesus said in himself. Matthew chapter 10. And let's start over here at verse, let's start at verse 32. Matthew chapter 10, 32. Watch this. Let's see what side you on. Let's see if you can do this, what Jesus said. Because the left says you need to love your family and love your children and love everybody else, and never put them before the Messiah or Jesus or Christ. Don't never do that. But then upon careful evaluation, when the persecution starts to thicken and the plot starts to really blow up, and the acid test is is you say one thing, but you do another. Let's see if you really got it in you to do what Jesus said. Matthew chapter 10, verse 32, coming from the King James Version of the Bible. Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father, which is in heaven. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father, which is in heaven. That's what Jesus said, right? Jesus said, think not, don't you think for 1 minute that I come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace but a sword. So what did Jesus come to do? Did he come to focus on the family? Did he come to make sure that you have a plush ease life in Zion with your immediate family? Let's see what he says. He says, for I am come to set at variance, that means division, against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's own foes shall be they of his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he that taketh not up his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. Then Jesus goes on to say this. He that findeth his life shall lose it. The day you found Jesus, did you really truly lose your life? Did you really truly lose it? Or did you keep the same life and just made a confession with your mouth and you've lived nothing? Only you can answer that. But I know one thing the Father knows. And he that loses his life for my sake shall find it. Let's go another one over here. Luke 14, verse 33. Look what Jesus said. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple. Whew. Man, that sounds cultish, don't it? Don't it sound cultish? What are we going to do about that? And remember, always read a little bit before and a little bit after before you start listening, because I'm telling you, these scriptures will hurt you. You're going to find out a lot of people, they hear it and they wipe their eyes or wipe their milk, their lips just like got finished eating, and close their ears and they walk away as if nothing happened. Let's go read Acts chapter 2, verse 42, see what the apostles said, who got taught by Jesus. And they continued steadfast in the apostles' doctrine and fellowship, breaking of bread and in prayers. And fear came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were done by the apostles. And all that believed were together and had all things common. And sold their possessions and goods and parted them to every man as every man had needed. Do you believe according to what that says? And if you do, how does it look? How are you supposed to do this? How do you implement this? I mean, because he just got finished saying over in Luke 14:33 that, so likewise, whosoever be of you that forsaketh not all that he has, he cannot be my disciple. So which one is it? Are you on the right or left? Or are you in obedience? Only you and you alone can answer that. I tell you what, but guess what? The question has already been answered. The heart knows its own bitterness. You already know. I know one thing. One day, we're all going to the grave. Whether you are a multi-billionaire in this earth or you had nothing, every single one of us is going down in that ground, in that hole. That body is going in that hole. Some people's spirit is going up. Some people's spirit, very few people going up. The rest of them are going down. Which is that going to be of you? Because you can try to deceive all the people on this earth all you want. But the real true king and judge of all men, he sees 1,000 times brighter than the sun can even shine.